Hey, what's up guys? Jackson here at Toasty DIY, and today we're going to be doing maintenance on the John Deere Z740R. Let's go ahead and get into it. So this specific video is going to cover the 23.5 horsepower Kawasaki engine that is a V-twin, and this is going to be pretty much the same for many other John Deere riding mowers, and even some of like the riding tractors and the stand-up zero turns as well. And if you want a more specific video, I even have one on my last Z735M as well, which was the Briggs & Stratton engine. The first thing I'm going to do with this video is cleaning the mower, because I think that's part of the maintenance, but I'm gonna make it really fast so that you don't have to sit here and watch it in case you don't want to clean your motor or in case it's already clean. Okay, so we got the mower nice and pressure washed. We cleaned underneath the deck the best we could. So now we're ready to get it in the garage, and I'm actually going to lift the mower up so that you guys can really see everything we do, because we're gonna be sharpening the blades and doing the full maintenance kit, as well as doing the grease points on the spindles. So this is gonna be pretty much a full maintenance guide minus servicing the hydrostats. That's the only thing we're not gonna cover in this video. Let's go ahead and get in the garage. All right guys, so we got the mower in the garage and we got it racked up just to help you guys see things a little bit better. And so by the way, I bought the wrong kit. Amazon and a lot of the websites just do not give you the right one. I bought the LG 276, which claimed to be for the Z740R, but it is very clearly not. This is what the spark plug that's actually in the mower. It's an NGK. BPR4ES, and as you can see, this one came with champion plugs. The good news though, it also came with the wrong fuel filter and the wrong air filter, so a lot of it's not right, but we do have the right oil, we have the right filter. And by the way, technically this is just a break-in oil change. That's all I really have to do. I was just gonna go ahead and do the full maintenance kit, because why not? I like to stay up to date and also to show you guys how, but we're still gonna show you guys how to do everything. We're gonna start off with the oil change now. So luckily on pretty much all John Deere mowers, and really just John Deere equipment in general, they make all the oil changes pretty easy. So this right here is your actual oil change tube, or I guess you'd call it your oil drain tube. And it goes to the bottom of the engine where you would normally have your drain plug. They have this threaded in. So we're gonna go ahead and crack this guy open here. Obviously with gravity, oil's at the bottom of the engine, so there it is. Ready to go. I have a drain pan right beneath the mower here, and hopefully it didn't come out super quick, but we're gonna go ahead and we're just gonna aim this down like so. And I'm gonna go ahead and go down here and make sure that we have some flow. Yep, we got some flow. So as you guys can see here, these are all the OEM parts that you will need if you have the Z740R with the Kawasaki engine. And like I said, we got a couple of them here. So yep, we do have the engine oil turf guard 10W30, and you can see here it says quantity 5, but I think that's for like the first 250 hours. They want you to change it more commonly, and it says 2 to 2.2 quarts. We did only get 2 quarts in this. I should still have another jug from my last mower, but we'll figure that out when we get there. All right, we're taking a clean funnel. All right, so we got pretty much all the oil drained out. We gave it about 5 minutes. So now I'm gonna kind of try to dribble the excess off. And just like that, you should be able to do it without making much of a mess at all. I don't even think we got a drop of oil anywhere it shouldn't be, which is pretty good. And you don't want to get that like super tight. So once you're done, you can just stick that right back through this little hose clamp, which really just holds it in place. Doesn't really do anything special. Let's go ahead and get this oil filter out. I doubt it's going to be hand tight. Okay, for the oil filter, you don't need an oil filter wrench. It's just there's like a little connector above it, and it's really short. It's a very small oil filter, so not a lot of room. So I'm going to use one of these guys here. It's like a ratcheting type oil filter wrench. Works pretty good. We're going to have a little bit of a mess, but it's not going to be too bad. Obviously, you can catch a lot of the oil by trying not to dump the oil filter sideways, but luckily with that hole there, you can see, well, hopefully, might be draining on the top of my wood pretty much, but you get the idea. There's a little dented in area, so you see how the oil is kind of contained in that spot. We'll let that drain for a sec, and then we can wipe it or spray it with some brake cleaner. We want to make sure that our gasket is on the filter, which it is, and you can double check the filter housing. You see right in there, you see how the mating surface is nice and clean. I also notice this one is a C, but I don't even think it calls for the, yeah, it says AM125424. I don't know where the one with the C's coming in. Maybe there's like a newer part number. Okay, I don't have any brake cleaner at the moment somehow. I like never run out of stuff, so I'm gonna go ahead and just take a shop rag, wipe this area down. We don't want to leave a bunch of oil because for one, it'll look like there's an oil leak. Oil filter's on. I'm gonna grab a kind of more standard oil filter wrench here, like a. Okay, we got our new oil filter, just a little past hand tight. I did just kind of move this out of the way, so let's get that, our oil drain tube back in there. Okay, now we're good to add our 10W30 turf guard. All right, so now what we're gonna do, we got 2 quarts in there, and like I said, it says 2 to 2.2, but when you check your oil, you wanna make sure that your oil filter is also taken into consideration, so you wanna make sure that it has oil in it. So we got our funnel out, we're gonna put our dipstick back in. Really, we just need to have our oil cap back on. Okay, so now that we have our oil cap back on, what we're gonna do is we're gonna start the mower up and let it run for maybe about 5 seconds, 10 seconds max. All right, so you're just letting it run for just a few seconds, really. Obviously with the right amount of oil, or at least what you think is the right amount, which like I said, 2 to 2.2. And now that we have our oil filter filled up, because you just need to pressurize your oil system, which will get your oil filter filled. So here's our dipstick nice and clean. And as we can see, yeah, plenty. We're actually a little past the full mark, it looks like. Go ahead and get one more reading just to be safe. Yeah, I would say we're a little past the full mark. So yeah, it seems like 2 is about all you really need. So oil change is done. We got our old oil out, got our new oil and oil filter in. We ended up doing exactly 2.0 quarts of, once again, the Turf Guard 10W30, which is exactly what it calls for, to change 2 other things that I guess I don't exactly need to change because I only have 16 hours in the mower. I'm really just doing the break-in. So let's just go ahead and show you guys those. So firstly, the air filter. Very easy. So you have 2 air filters on the Kawasaki engine. You have your giant air filter, which this is the one that you're going to want to replace. I'd say around every like 100 hours to be really safe. But, you know, it's one of those things where you can always clean it out the best you can. It's a very large filter, very large. And then you do have a secondary filter. But it also comes out in a similar fashion. It's got this kind of thick rubber around it. But obviously mine are still pretty much brand new. So we'll just pretend that these are brand new filters so you guys can kind of follow along here. And this, actually, funny enough, Donaldson is the brand of this air filter. So they kind of just are compression fit. They don't have like a very specific way they need to go on. We can go ahead and take this, and there's little notches kind of all around this, so you can kind of choose how you want that rubber piece. I know that they gave it to me with it facing down, so that's just how I'm putting it back on. Okay, now spark plugs are pretty easy. It's a V-twin, so you have one on each side. You have one here, one right over on the opposite side. They're both right next to your little valve covers here. So what you're gonna do is you kind of want to wiggle back and forth while you're pulling on it. You want to make sure not to pull straight from the plug wire because that's how you end up ripping one of your plug wires. And then I believe with this engine, you probably have to buy a whole new ignition coil. So right now I am using, this is actually a 13/16, and this is actually a spark plug socket. So it has like a little rubber insert, but you don't have to have anything specific. Just make sure it's a 13/16. And then I'm using a long extension here. That's a wobble extension. So it gets about I think it's like a 5-degree wobble. And once you break it loose, you can just do the rest by hand. If you want to be extra safe, that's the best way to do it so you don't accidentally cross thread anything. And there we go. There is our spark plug. So this is a NGK-R plug. It's the BP-R4ES plug. So pretty easy to get out. As you can see, mine are not super old. Looks like it's running like ever so slightly rich, but that is all good. Overall, it's a pretty good burn pattern. So like I said, with my mower having such low hours and the fact that I didn't get the right plugs. And then the last tip I have for whenever you put these boots back on, put some dielectric tune-up grease or even just bulb grease, just some type of electric grease. It'll help make sure that you keep moisture out of that boot so that it's easier to get off next time, and just make sure that it has good connection and everything. So the point where you can just go ahead and do the fuel filter, but with the fuel filter, I also don't have the right freaking one. But the basics of it are, well, here's the part number if you need it firstly. And it's gonna always have an arrow typically for your direction of fuel flow. These are very simple engines. It goes towards the engine. Here's your fuel pump right here. And yeah, very simple. You're gonna have one clamp here, one clamp here. I normally will just use like needle nose. Sometimes you can get away with like channel locks. They do have specialty actual hose grabbers or hose clamp grabbers, which I have like a whole toolkit for, but I often just end up going needle nose. And you can, this one's easy. Just take your needle nose clip here. And then obviously for the backside, kind of the same deal. It's very, very easy to do this part. You just and you have to wiggle the rubber back and forth a little bit because it does kind of get stuck on there over time. Fuel kind of dries that rubber, so it loses its nice elasticity. Sorry I'm not able to show you guys that. I hate doing videos like this where I'm like doing hypotheticals, but go ahead and move this stuff off to the side. So the last thing I'm gonna be doing before I go and actually sharpen my blades, I'm gonna show you guys how to take off the blades and everything, is we're gonna go ahead and put some spindle grease in our spindles. And we have one of these nicer locking Zerk fitting greasers here, which I really like. It makes it to where it actually gets the grease in. All right, luckily I can show you guys this part. So what I like to do is always wipe off your Zerk fitting, just to make sure you don't have a bunch of gunk on it. And I really like these locking ones. They just, I find, work a lot better. 3 to 4 good squeezes, assuming that you kind of have used your grease gun a few times and you kind of know it pretty well. You don't need to like overflow these things with grease. Once again, let's go ahead and wipe it off. Make sure you're not forcing any like dirt or rust in there, you know. But yeah, highly recommend this locking style because you can just see how much easier it is for me. And we're getting some really good resistance, so we know that we're really forcing the grease in. You notice how if you ever do one of these Zerk fittings and you see all the grease coming out of like the nozzle end, like right at the top here, that means it's not going in. All right, so we got it jacked up. You're gonna need an 18 millimeter. I'm using a pneumatic impact gun here. I recommend using impact if you can, especially get it off. If you don't have access to an impact, you can always wedge something like a 4x4 in here, and then just use like a hand wrench. It's just a good amount harder, and well, you'll just see that's just a lot easier, right? And these blades only have 18 hours on them, so they're really not too bad, but here to grind because you can kind of just follow the exact pattern that it currently has. But you don't want them to be like razor sharp. You kind of want them to be like ever so slightly blunt, and that keeps them actually sharper longer. But here we go. To the other 3, you can see here we do have some nicks taken out, but well guys, I'm gonna get my other 2 blades sharpened up, and like I said, I'm sorry I wasn't able to show you exactly step for step the whole entire process. Sadly, that wrong kit kind of did me dirty, but I am going to have multiple times in the video that full maintenance kit of everything that you need. So the spark plugs, the fuel filter, the oil filter, the oil and how much oil you need, and then even the maintenance intervals. I highly recommend following those intervals, even if you're not using the mower a ton. I know that it's like every 200 hours for a lot of things, or annually. What I recommend is just the maintenance kits are pretty cheap. I mean, at least do the oil change and sharpen the blades. At least do that once every, like, you know, I would say once a year. Now the other stuff like the air filter, the spark plugs, yeah, you could probably skip some seasons if you're not using the mower super often, but if you are, like especially if you're actually doing lawn care, definitely do that maintenance. I hope you guys enjoyed today's video though. See you guys in the next one. Peace out.